there are possibilities. We can discuss. George, do you want to grab a bite at the Star Tours inauguration?
Hi, Bob.
For 2 years now, right? Are you happy with the attraction?
Yeah, it's great. Thanks. You know, technology has advanced so much after we first created the attraction in '87, but Disney Imagineers just don't seem to know the word no, and the new ride brings a fantastically convincing experience. I'm very fond of working with them.
Glad to hear. I'm looking forward to cutting the red tape later. And I hear there'll be a couple of lightsabers. We can cross them on stage. See how your years of experience will dwarf my skills.
Yeah, can do.
Hey, listen, would you consider selling Lucasfilm to Disney?
To be honest, I am thinking about retiring. I'm 67 years old, and restructuring Lucasfilm over the past few years has been aimed at making the company less dependent on my leadership and vision. But I still have projects to attend to. The Clone Wars is entering its 4th season, and we have the live-action Star Wars on the drawing table. And I have other ideas about movies I might put into production. For the moment, I would have to say no. I'm not ready to pursue that now. But when I am, I'd love to talk.
Okay, that's all I was asking.
Disney bought Pixar. They let the management be. They didn't meddle, and that was brilliant. Pixar had all the creative freedom to output great stories. It is possible I may be able to retain some influence over the Star Wars universe if I sell Lucasfilm to Disney. That will also greatly depend on who runs the company after I retire. This is what I think a sale to Disney will look like. Star Wars and I will always be linked. It doesn't matter if I own the company or not. When I die, everyone will say, Star Wars creator George Lucas. I propose this will be the best course of action. I hand over the entire company, including Industrial Light and Magic, Skywalker Sound, and the rights to the Indiana Jones franchise. But I retain complete control over Star Wars. My team and I have been growing the franchise for a long time, and it's only natural that we know best how to license, market, and produce Star Wars materials. In fact, this is what the business plan looks like, and that's the projected figures. But to get there, we must get the new movies right. I think it would be wise to keep some of this structure intact.
I see where you're coming from. This is your legacy we're negotiating, and I am happy to offer you some autonomy and to consider your valuation. Regarding autonomy, we've done this before with Marvel and Pixar. These studios retain their autonomy, but in a limited way. Here, we can do something similar. Don't get me wrong, we greatly respect your work, and we want to build on your vision of Star Wars, not replace or erase it. That's out of the question. We would love to have you on as an advisor, a consultant. I mean, nobody knows the 17,000 characters and the chronology of over 20,000 years better than you. And that would be good for you. You'd keep an eye out for the characters. But you need to know, if Disney owns Lucasfilm, it will be Disney, not Lucasfilm, that has the final say over all things Star Wars. We are certainly willing to keep Lucasfilm intact. Management, creative team, with Kathleen at the helm.
Okay. We have developed the story treatments for the final Star Wars trilogy. I can relinquish some of the control if Disney agrees to take them and use them as the basis for any future films, and it needs to be added to the acquisition agreement. The projected figures also consider the success of the treatments. Bear that in mind.
That sounds good, but I need to look at the scripts before we agree on anything final.
Look, I know what I'm doing. Buying the stories is part of the deal. You will need to trust me.
Okay, I understand. George, we would need to see some script text before we can continue with the deal. What do you think would be the best way to proceed?
Tell you what, how about if we ensure the treatments will only be read by a limited number of people? You, Alan Horn, and Kevin Mayer. That should work, as long as you sign a non-disclosure agreement.
risks we'll be taking. Think about it. There is a lot of uncertainty about the critical acclaim. These figures there are very speculative, and you still haven't told us if Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, and Mark Hamill will agree to shoot if we acquire Lucasfilm.